Well, I need to share something with y'all, and some of you are not going to like it. In fact, some of you might even hate me for it. I can't wait to see what the comments look like. So let's talk about it. I'd like to share with you guys what I've come to recognize as probably the key concept necessary for being successful at really anything in life. Off-grid living, homesteading, relationships, finances, learning a trade, juggling, needlepoint, becoming an amateur tattoo artist, or even a semi-professional race car driver. This concept starts with probably one of the top 3 most powerful sentences in the English language, coming just behind "you are right" in the number 2 spot and "I love you" taking down the checkered flag by a nose. That sentence is, "I don't know." Now, I very rarely will respond to negative comments, mainly because it just never works out to be very productive. And when I do, I never put the comment on the screen or tag the person in the response, because I know what the internet does. I know a bunch of you guys will just go off and harass that person, and it's not what I want. And honestly, I have no idea what was going on in the life of the person that left that negative comment. He could have just lost a job that he uses to support his family, or he could have lost a loved one, or any number of other terrible things that have become commonplace in this low-budget circus sideshow that we call modern life. They could have just been looking for somewhere to blow off steam, and seeing a goofy, bearded, potato-shaped guy in overalls on the internet seemed like a perfectly fine place to aim that frustration. I just don't know. I got a comment on my last video that was something to the effect of, "You're such a liar, you're so full of nonsense, I've lived off-grid longer than you've been alive and it's cost me a lot more than $45,000. My immediate response was, "Sounds like we did things differently." Then I got to thinking about it. I'm 43, and I talked about over the course of 12 years, and so yeah, I could see how that would cost you more. But I don't think that was the point, and it got me thinking. If from that comment I had only read, "I've lived off-grid longer than you've been alive," my immediate response would have been, "Sweet, I bet there's a lot I could learn from you. Are you up for having a conversation?" Because I would bet there are volumes filled with information about this subject that I don't know. I'll tell you what, it must be wild to have such a rock-solid certainty that your way of doing something is not only the best way and the cheapest way and the most efficient way, but the only way. So much so that if a person comes along and does it better, cheaper, or faster, then they must be lying. Like, that's out there. Fully brush aside the fact that that level of certainty in oneself has probably cost that person every relationship with any person who's ever been important to them, lost them every opportunity that has ever come a-knocking, and has resulted in them not learning or getting better at anything ever from that point forward, full stop. It very well may be the worst character trait that a person can have, not just for the people around them, but for their own happiness and well-being. Now, I only know that's the result of this viewpoint because I used to be a lot worse at it than I am now. In fact, I may have been the worst.
Used to be.
I was like that right up until the exact point when I was absolutely humbled by a gentleman who would go on to become one of the most influential people and mentors in my life. A man named Will, who I've made videos about, and who actually became the subject of the opening chapter in my most recent book. That experience was when I realized that people can think things and people can know things, and it became crystal clear to me that all of the trouble in the world comes directly from not being able to recognize the difference between the two. Now, maybe this is the only video of mine that you'll ever see. Maybe not. Either way, I hope this video leaves you with a few things. Those are, know that you can always learn more, no matter how much you know. That you can always get better, no matter how good you are. And realize that the best way to do that is to seek out mentorship, have questions at the ready, and be curious enough to get answers. Because literally all the magic in life comes from not knowing and then embarking upon an adventure to find out. Hope to see you next time. Bro, it's the Olympics. In leather-bound books and a library that smells of rich mahogany.
And am I hiding my side fat good enough? I really don't think that's right.
Might as well have fun when your happiness is done and your goose is cooked. You know, that's the problem with the internet. Nobody ever gets punched in the face.